Welcome back to more Lord of the Rings Online. I'm Salty Cur, and we're simply walking into Mordor. We left off here at the Farmer's Fair last time. I didn't do any investigation about what was going on out here, because I looked at the horse, and it doesn't look like anything I want to spend any time getting. So we're not going to waste our time here in the Farmer's Festival, at least on camera. But we're back ready to get at things. Let's see what happened here. I got some new mail. Well, this expired, so this did not sell on the auction hall, so I'm going to attach those, which is fine. Alright, let's check our Hobbit gifts. So we get a silver and a gold today. The gold Hobbit gifts refresh every week. The silver is every day, so would we get 50 marks? Less than exciting. Maybe we'll come through with some gold. 12 of defense, also less than exciting at our level. But here they sit in our inventory. Okay, let's see what we're about here, quest-wise. Okay, so we're getting close to continuing our epic quest, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And most likely, we will head into the Lone Lands in this episode. So we'll be moving out of Breland and moving into the Lone Lands. Pretty soon here, we're going to have to start looking at our skirmish stuff. But we're not ready to do that quite yet. So these are Lone Land quests that we can do when we get there. But first things first, let's go back to Breland. I cannot remember, did I change my map? Nope, that's still in the Lone Lands. So we're going to have a horse to a stable, which is pretty close here, I believe. Let's see, stable. Where's the horsies? We're here. Hobbiton Stable is there. Okay, so we will head there. Let's get our frame rates going. I like to keep those up and running so I can kind of observe how the computer's doing. Having some hiccups and giddy-ups here, it looks like, in our frame rates. Down to 40 and 39. It might be just because we're loading into the game. Let's go ahead and take this quest off of our bar here. Just keep our Strider quest.
Good day.
Good day. Okay, so let's head to West Bree. That'll also give us a chance to look at some of our virtues that we're working on and our deeds while we're taking our horse there. It's going to take us a minute or two to get there, so we might as well look. Here are our class deeds that we need to get finished here. It's going to take a long time, as you can tell, for a lot of these to get these class points, but through our adventures we will be filling those out. So low cut we got to be using, that's that one. Deadly precision is critical strikes. Heightened senses, we're doing a fair bit of tracking. Got to use our poison removal skill. Use penetrating shot, that's almost ready to increment here. We only need 13 more. We use that almost every time we're in combat. Traps we have not used too much. We've used 3 whole traps. And then penetrating shot, critically hit with penetrating shot. We've only done that twice. So those are for our class. Here are our racial traits. Okay, so this gives us a bonus when we do fellowship items. Enmity of the Orcs gives us +3 fate. I still have to research and find out what gets us that bow bonus. If we look at our character racial skills, if we go to our racial skills panel, this is the one we want. So that's +5 bow damage, +5% bow damage. So we need to be getting that. That's an important one. This one, Eldar's Grace, is also an important one to get. So we have 2 spots, but it'll be quite a while before we're picking up these other ones. If we're looking at our virtues, we're at 8 here. 6 is wit, so we're working up towards 8. So the next one, compassion, we're going to get to 8, and then charity, we got to get to 8, and then this one should be open by then at level 23. So we're going to want tolerance, and tolerance is already at 8. So it looks like we're doing pretty well on our virtues. We still have some things we need to fill in. In terms of our traits, our trait panel, You noticed last time, I believe it was last time, we picked up Heartseeker. So we can nail people pretty strong with the old Heartseeker. And we're going to be filling out the rest of these as we go along. It's going to be a bit before we're really adding the rest in, but right now it's at every other level. So that's our racial traits. And then here's the epic traits. Over here, or not traits, I'm so sorry, our deeds. It'll keep track of how we're proceeding along the epic quest narrative chain. And then lastly is our reputation. This is wherever we go, we build reputation, and those will be tracked along these tabs on the bottom. We're in Eriador. These are the 4 major regions of the game as they exist now. Eriador, Rovanion, we haven't been there, of course. Gondor, we haven't been. And Mordor, we haven't been. But they all have their areas. And so down here, these tabs are for each of the areas in Eriador. So if we click Set Rewards, we can see, you know, what these will do. And then if you click on them, it'll tell you more specifically. And most of them award 2,000 virtue experience. So at some point off camera, I'll go run around and grab all of these. So, you know, there's an enormous number of deeds to do in each area. So this is the Shire. The next one's Eredluin. So these are the 3 starter areas depending on what race we chose. And we chose the elf race, so we started in Eredluin. So our next one is the Lone Lands. So if you're thinking of how to proceed chronologically in the game, it's not, you know, it's not an open world game. So it's not like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, where you, or at least Elder Scrolls 1 Tamriel as it exists now, you can't really go wherever you want. For example, if you were to try to go into Mordor and you stepped out and you faced a little, one of those, you know, little spiders, you'd be dead in one shot. So these are tied to levels. Which is nice because that anchors you to the story. So if you're trying to figure out roughly how to proceed through, these are pretty good guides of the order one should go in. But when we get here to Evendim and the Misty Mountains and the Trollshaws, all of these sort of are going to overlap, and we can be doing quests in any of the areas. So my approach is to kind of give a tour of the game. So we'll be doing some quests in each of the areas across these bottom tabs here. We'll be spending an enormous amount of time in Angmar. That's where the level 45 to 50 quests are, and that's where the initial release of the game up to level 50 in 2007 would get you. So this was endgame content in 2007. So you can see they have added an enormous amount to the game since launch. So and planning to add a lot more. So that's our deed panel in a nutshell. Oh, that went because I had clicked on this when I was on my horse. And it waits until you're off your horse, but it doesn't forget that you activated the skill. Okie dokie. I'm not going to click this just yet because we're only going up the hill here to the Prancing Pony to talk to Strider. I believe it was at the Pony. Return the Prancing Pony and Bree. So we'll find out where to go after Othrenroth. We can hit our speed buff though. Yeah, there's that. Okay. These are still left over from when we logged off. Got 8 minutes left on those buffs. Okay. Let's head upstairs. We're not quite upstairs. We're going to talk to Strider. The door to Strider's room is locked. What? Talk to Barlam and Butterbur. I ran too far. Oh no. I love this guy. He is the growling southerner. Rabble, rabble. Ha! The men of Bree call these hobbit mound hills. The majesty of the Blue Mountains would steal their breath away. Alright, let's find out what the deal
so
is.
much to do.
Oh, hello there again. I was so busy that I didn't see you, but there's never a moment's peace here, if I may say so. I was so worried that he'd sour my beer for letting Mr. Underhill and his friends go off with that ranger. He who? Oh, why, that would be Mr. Gandalf, of course. They say he's a wizard or some such, and I'll say there must be something of those tales, for my beer's never been better. He was so pleased. Begging your pardon, but I do run on sometimes. Gandalf said to send anyone looking for Strider up to his room. It's up the stairs, just beyond Strider's room. Okay, let us head up the stairs. Okay. There he is.
Why do you disturb me?
You are lost. Seek me with your intent. By the look in your eye, I gather the latters. Though I also sense you sought some other Strider, perhaps. Then we have both come too late. Our mutual friend has left, bearing with him a terrible burden. I'm Gandalf the Grey, a friend of Strider's. If he set you to a task, it could not be much less urgent than his own. Tell me your tale, and I will deliver it to him. So, Angmar rises. Remember, the Witch King of Angmar in our last episode has united with Ivar the Blood Hand and Skorgrim Dowerhand. So we are, encountering evil spreading through Middle-earth. So Angmar arises. It is a grim news, but I am not surprised. Nevertheless, I cannot turn aside from my own task, for the fate of all Middle-earth hangs upon it. This burden I place upon you in the name of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Hinder the Witch King's plans, if you may. Whether east or north, I bid you good fortune. Good fortune. Farewell. Malabas.
I need your assistance.
Bingo bango, we're now level 21. There's Malabas. We're going to sell that because we're not might class in any way. You have done much good for the people of Breland, but the shadow out of Angmar spreads far and wide. I've learned from Gwaihir, the Wind Lord, that another of my order has found corruption in the lone lands east of Bree. It may even be related to the dangers you encountered in the Great Barrow. Unfortunately, Radagast is given to wandering and will be difficult to find. I would ask that you enlist the assistance of the Rangers in finding his location. There is one here in Breland, Saerdan, who will be able to aid you. Head out of Bree through the west gate and turn north along the Greenway. Seek Saerdan in his cabin on the east side of the Greenway across from Thornley's worksite. Well, of course, we're familiar with that place already because we did some quests for Saerdan and we helped Rose Thornley, so we know what it's about. The Road to the Lonely Mountain is another quest we can pick up here.
Why do you disturb me?
My friend, as you know, a great battle was fought at the foot of the Lonely Mountain many years ago. Now, with trouble stirring in the east, I am concerned. I wish to know what has happened to our allies and enemies of the past. Master Elrond in Rivendell is preparing for a council, which includes representatives of every folk and many lands. Perhaps he may have more insight as to the troubles. Are you willing to travel to Rivendell on my behalf? I've arranged for the swiftest travel possible to Imladris. Yeah, we could do that. And I believe if we accept this, it's actually going to take us there. So, there we go. And here we are. We're in the Trollshaws in the Lonely Mountains. And there you see. There it is, the last homely house. The Trollshaws are beautiful. You remember we selected our last name as Gilyavier, as the Star of Autumn. You know, the elves are the autumn people. They are passing away from Middle-earth, the twilight of the land. We are in the twilight of the Third Age. So here we are. On our map, if we hit our map, here we are standing here, and the last homely house is over here. If we scroll out on our map, you can see we are in the Trollshaws. The Trollshaws are... Oops. The Trollshaws are here. Breland is here, and the Lone Lands, where we'll be heading a little bit later in this episode, are here. And here is Weathertop. So you can see we're quite a ways away from Breland. to see Lord Elrond in Rivendell. I got a deed bestowed, and the deed is we have completed the first book of the Shadows of Angmar. So this was on the Epic tab that I showed you a little bit earlier here. And so these are the books of the first volume, The Shadows of Angmar. This was the complete game when it first released of the Epic Quest chain. So we're going to be moving our way through the books here. So that's in our deed log. If we look on our quest log here, we're now Volume 1, Book 2 in the foreword, Aiding the Order. You can see what you have completed by hitting Show Completed Quests, and here was the prologue that we did, and the green check marks show that we've completed those. And then here are the chapters and the instances in the first book. Okay. We're going to untick that because we don't need to see all the quests we've done already. Alright, so Grisalian Gilyavier, we are headed towards Elrond, to meet Elrond. The reason I dismounted is when you hit that, if you're on your horse, it doesn't activate. You have to dismount and then remount after you've activated it. So it's very pretty here. We're not going to set our milestone here because we're not going to be doing much here to use the milestone. Probably best that we have it set in the Lowlands because that's where we'll be going. We'll have plenty of time to be looking around Rivendell as we get to a higher level. Right now we're just kind of going through to meet Elrond. I believe we find him where we usually find him, in the last homely house. Floaty names on. So here we are. And Elrond is in his library usually, which is on the 3rd floor. We'll be meeting a lot of these people along our travels that we're running past right now, but they're not part of our adventure just yet. So Elrond is down there. Blacklist. If we're doing scholar crafting, we can do them in studies, so indicating that we have
a strange fate
here.
Brings you hither.
Welcome, Grisalian, and well met. I understand that Gandalf the Grey has sent you to me. That is well, for I do indeed have knowledge of our allies and enemies of old, or rather those who have come for counsel do. If I were you, I would speak with Glorfindel by the stream outside my home. He has friends among the great eagles and has received dire news. As well, speak with the elf prince Legolas. I think we know who that guy is. And Boromir, Captain General of Gondor at the guest houses. They also bear news of the outside world. Okay, we will do so. Remember where these guys are. Let's see here. This is Bilbo's room. So we'll go in there at some point. I know you want to go in there now, but no spoilers. We are following the story. Hyleia. Hello, Hyleia. Guest chambers. You must have completed book 12, chapter 10. Yeah, we're in book 2. Took me a while before that. I don't think they're in here. Oh, I remember where they are. We're nowhere near where they are. Hee. Alright, Glorfindel's right over here.
Megavanen.
Grisalian, elf of great repute. I'm level 21. I assume that Master Elrond has told you of my troubles, or at least somewhat of them. I have received word from Gwahir, the Wind Lord, a king of the great eagles of the Misty Mountains. Stone giants have stolen an egg from the eyries of the great eagles and propose to eat it. Stone giants? Gwahir is greatly distressed, but cannot take the matter upon himself. He has asked for aid, and perhaps you may be able to give it. Travel to Ayabar's Peak and rescue the eagles. Okay, at this point, it's time to tell you that the road to the Lonely Mountain was added quite late in the game. And the objective was to create instances that you would complete. And you can scale the instances. You'll notice the levels. You can scale the instances from level 1 all the way to 120. So if we click on Ayabar's Peak here the level is a minimum 20, and the maximum is 120. Now, Ayabar's Peak is a 3-person instance, so this is grayed out up here. We can't change it. It's a 3-man instance. Now, we're not going to do much grouping, because grouping in the game, especially in the early levels, can be tough to find, and you don't know who you're with, and sometimes it can be... A lot of times people have done the quest millions of times, so they just sprint through, and it's not much of a story. It's more of a sprint. So we might do a bit of that. But once we get to 25 and 30, the level's higher than 20, we can still play the instance as a 3-man instance on tier 1. You'll notice for this instance there are 2 tiers. They go up to 5 tiers late in the game. In difficulty, so tier 1's the easiest difficulty. So at level 25 or 30, we might be able to do it solo. Now, they built some of the later instances to be impossible to do solo. In other words, like 2 people have to be in 2 different places and activate a button, and it's impossible to do solo. So it was their attempt to get people to play in groups, because really playing in groups is the most fun. If I had some other people who were available to go through the entire game with me and record every episode like this, that would be a blast, but unfortunately, I don't have anybody that much into LOTRO who's willing to do that, so we're going through solo. So we'll come through and we'll do these most likely solo on our way through, so you will see all of these. But at this point, we're not going to do too much of the Road to the Lonely Mountain at this point in the game. But we are going to go pick up these and meet Legolas and Boromir, of course. Because how could we not? You know what I mean? And as we remember, the Road to the Lonely Mountain wasn't part of the epic quest chain. The instances don't always... where's that bridge? The instances don't always fit into the larger quest item. I say that like I know that person. I have no idea who that person is at all. But I do know where the guest house are. They're over yonder. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to grab the stable here in Rivendell as well, so that we can travel. As I've said many times, it's a beautiful game. It really just is pretty. When you're not looking at the branches flying by. Okay. Oh, here's... maybe you've heard of a dwarf named Gimli. Maybe you've heard of an elf named Legolas. And maybe you've heard of a guy named Aragorn and a guy named Boromir. Alright, Legolas, let's see what you have to say.
What can I do for you?
Okay. There he is. Not really Orlando Bloom, but what can you do? Cresalian, you are the hunter of some note. Perhaps you may be of service to my father. I was sent here with dire news, which I will only speak of in Master Elrond's council, but there is another matter of importance that needs to be addressed. My father is concerned by the increased stirrings of the great spiders. Our scouts tracked the origin to the Scuttle Dells in southern Mirkwood, but we've heard nothing from them since. We're not going to get to the Scuttle Dells for quite a long time. So you can see when this instance was added. It was much later in the game. Will you journey to the Scuttle Dells with your allies and discover what has happened to them? Swift travel shall be provided to you. I hope it doesn't take me there. Good. Because we're not going to do that at this time. Hello, Boromir.
What can I do for you?
Ho there, good elf. As I traveled here from Gondor in the south, I was troubled by goblins from the Misty Mountains. From their words through rumors I learned from the scattered men abroad, I deemed that a new great goblin has arisen within their midst. I thought this might be of concern to the master of Rivendell, for Imladris lies within the shadow of the mountains. Would that I could take upon myself the glorious adventure of bringing these goblins' caves down around their ears, but my errand is of vastly greater import. Perhaps you might undertake this adventure. So, it is to complete Irobar's Peak, Scaling Assist, complete Seed of the Great Goblin, Scaling Assist, and complete Web of the Scuttle Dell, Scaling Instance. Okay. Alright, so we've picked those up. We are not going to do those at this time. We will do those when they show up along our merry way. Okay. But we have met some famous characters, and we will meet them much over the course of our adventure. But first, we're going to go and grab the stable here in Rivendell. This is along the ridge. So remember, if it's blue or green or whatever that color appears to you, you click it and you know it. And then it gives you all of the places that this hub will go to. So it will go to all of these places. When it is yellow, that means you have not discovered or you've not earned the reputation to travel there. So you'll see South Bree Swift Travel is not available till level 40. So Enedwythe is not level until level 50, and you need to have friends standing with the elves. So a lot of these travel ports are so, you have to experience the world. You don't just go and find the locations and port around. You actually travel through the world. Fortunately, we have set our map to the Lonely Mountains, the Lonelands, where we're going to be starting our adventure. So let's head over there. This episode's going to be a little bit longer today. We've been doing a little bit of touring, but we do want to get some action in. So here we are at the Forsaken Inn, and oh wait a minute, we have to go back to Sayrden in his cabin. Actually, we'll do that next, but I do want to do a little bit of questing today. So in the Lone Lands, let's hit a couple of these quests. And what was Noble Deeds? Boar Tusks. So all of these I think we can do in this area. So if we check our map, yeah, see all of these are in this area. So let's do it. Let's go out and start hunting some stuff. There's also rings here. Let's see, does this guy have more for us? He does not. So I'm wondering what this ring is for. Perhaps there's more quests in here that we could do. Oh, there were quests that we didn't pick up. Remember those bounty quests? Or did we pick up all those? Oh, Anlaf has a quest over here for us. And it is Inn of the Forsaken. Here's another
take
small
a moment
fellowship,
of your time.
Quest. We'll be doing that on our own as well, but we'll just pick it up. I think it's free to VIP members. Okay, we can get this through the instance panel. The Inn of the Forsaken. It's a 3-person. It's grayed out, therefore it's set at a 3-person. but it goes from level 21 to 120. So you can do these instances over and over and over again. But we're not going to do it right now. Oops, I didn't want to set that. I wanted to remove it. Alright. Let's go out and start collecting some materials and such. The ring is still there, so there was another quest we didn't pick up. But I don't know where it was. We don't need Ashwood anymore. As we continue over here to the west, U is going to start showing up. Okay, so here we go. Did that backwards again. Knock us out. If he gets to us, he knocks us out usually. So we collected a boar leg bone. Sweet. I'm just going to the red dots pretty much. These are level 22 quests. We're level 21, but it doesn't matter. We can do these. Something's on to me. The elephant got me. Goblins too, as I recall, don't we? Oh, we need orc shields. We're not going to get that from this guy, but we might as well kill him anyway. That wolf tail is from the wolf that we just killed. Goblin Slayer. We got a deed. Defeat goblins in the Lone Lands. Set rewards here. And we'll eventually get, after you do tier 1, then on tier 2, that will give you the 2,000 virtue points. So, this is a pendant that we found on this goblin, so we need to find the pendant owner and return that to them. But you'll notice that was a yellow goblin, and you saw we were missing a bit on our shots. So that's kind of what happens. What is this? Yeah, that's what happens. At this level, with this level bow, you know, you start with the not so great gear, the not great skills. And I know we're 20-something episodes in here, but, I mean, we've not scratched the surface of the game. It's going to be a long series. But you'll notice we're still able to kill the things before. Oh, there's another yellow fang sneak in there. Before they get to us, by and large. I won't be able to kill this before it gets to us. But I guess I could have tried to pin it in Heartseeker that go. I'll try that next time. Let's just Heartseeker this guy and see what happens. Did pretty good, but of course he's a stronger enemy. And still dead before he got here, so that's mission accomplished. Some ruffians. This is a new little area. Where am I in here? I don't remember this. They might have added this little area. Maybe there's a quest or something in here. So let's go ahead and murder these ruffians. Find out if anything pops for us in here. Fugitive captain, fugitive ruffian. There's another silent yellow fang. Too bad I wasted my Heartseeker. Okay, we'll come back to those fugitives and kill them when we have the quest. Whatever quest it might be for them. Boy, the addition of that pinning shot really has changed the game for hunters. Early game. Death from above! So we're making nice progress over here. See, we did pick up those bounties. Here's a bounty, collect goblin scabbards. So we complete a strong draw. So we complete strong draw. We'll get another skill point once we complete these other two, which will be harder to complete because we hardly ever use those skills. Got some LOTRO points, and then we got some LOTRO points here. Did we get? We did get a point for leveling to 21. So every odd level you get a point. So, you know, we use that penetrating shot all the time too, so we need to start putting points in there. And then here's where our swift bow is going to start to play into things. So our induction times are going to get lower there. So we're going to work our way down the ranks here. And as you work your way down, you get these by the rank. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the first one is Swift Release, which is minus 25% barbed arrow and swift bow induction. So we have that because we put 5 points in the. I think it's 5 points per rank. But we do have to start investing in all of these. So I'm going to start throwing them in there. Make our pen shot hit a little bit harder. Go through a few more enemy mitigations. Trying to think where the most boars are. The most boars are up this way, so we're going to be going over here and killing those goblins, sure enough, so fear not. It will be happening. There's our other top up there. Screenshot! I love my screenshots. We need birds too, because I think we need feathers, don't we? Yeah, crab and feathers. Or crabon. Definitely want to kill the boar before they get to you, because they knock you out if they hit you. Usually, especially if you're an elf. Let's hit this crab out. So we got a deed for slaying crabon. Crabine, if you're going with the elvish plural. Not to nerd it up too much, but that works. Crabine feathers. There we go. You knocked me up. We should consider ourselves lucky. Alright, more boar. We need more boar. There's the boar one by Hoof and Crook. So yeah, this is boar land all over here. And some goblins. I was thinking I should be putting down traps just to get our increments of that trap skill. But nothing's reaching us. I was going to see, is the stuff reaching us enough that would deem a trap worthy? And, you know, not much is given to us. We can try to look for boar, though, can't we? More boar over here. Let's hit this guard. Ruin his day. Blocking all that stuff with the shield. As we're improving our penetrating shot, those blocks will become rarer. Put this here. Let him run into the trap, see if it'll catch him. Sometimes he's gonna trap her. Or sometimes they die before they get to the trap. Of course, you could play a trapping class where it's all traps, and you just are putting traps all over the place and stuff is running into it. You're basically kiting things in traps. Traps are exploding around them. They're getting spikes shoved into their feet. So it is a definite style of play. Rare, not many people play the trapper. I've never played it. Pretty much because you gotta have patience to set a trap and then to lure things into traps. And I'm just like, let's just murder it. Let's just murder it before it gets here. But we'll put another one down here just for fun. And of course, the traps hit a lot harder if you choose that as your class. The Trapper of Foes in the Hunter class. There we go, it hit him. And he died. Okay, how we doing with the boar stuff? We'll finish the boar stuff and then we'll call it a day here for this episode. The trap cooldown is quite a bit. If you do the Trapper class, there's very low cooldown on all the traps because you're just constantly throwing traps down. So it's like one of your ways of combat is to throw traps in the middle of combat. When the game began, and for many years, you were able to play a lot of different styles. Wasn't there a wolf right up here? There he is. He's hiding. You could play a lot of different styles, a lot of different characters, a lot of different alts. In fact, there's a whole phenomenon called altaholics, where you're bouncing from alt to alt to alt because it's fun. But late game now, it is almost impossible to play late game well and level up everything to max and play alts. So unless you have unlimited time or aren't interested in the late game kind of stuff, it's really a dedication to... I'm getting skill lag. There's no skill with him running though. Where's he going? Yeah, this is pretty bad, this lag here today. The bleed was working through all that lag. We need 2 more tusks, 2 more wolf tails. Oh, but we need orc shields too, so we're not going to be able to complete this quest in this episode. But we'll kill 1 more and call it an episode. I'm sure happy you stopped in to see how we're progressing here. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, of course. Hit the notification bell so you know when I have uploaded a new episode. I'm trying to do 1 a day, every other day. So that's my plan anyway, so we'll see. forest at. So, this is a good scenic way to stop. Here we are out in the lone lands and the flowers and the grass behind Weathertop. Why not? So, we'll see you next time as we play more Salty Cur Simply Walks into Mordor on Lord of the Rings Online. Thanks for tuning in.